Hi everyone, this week we're going to do a brief health tip on something that is related to ADHD autism spectrum disorders, and it's something that it can actually be persistent in adults as well. Sometimes if somebody has bad penmanship, if their handwriting is really big or very messy, sometimes kids in the spectrum have handwriting that's really pretty bad and they end up having to have like really big pencils to kind of improve their handwriting. One of the reasons that that might be happening is that they have something called the retained primitive neurological reflex. So there's a reflex with the baby. If I have a little baby and I just push my finger into the palm of their hand, they should grasp quite firmly. So the idea is that the whole hand is almost acting as one in that reflex. But as the brain actually gets healthier and develops properly, that reflex should go away after maybe like 4 to 6 months or something like that, and then the kids should start to have independent capability to move each finger and do what they need to do for all this kind of stuff. But sometimes due to the neurological insult that happens in the second, third trimester, or the first couple of years of life or whatever it is, sometimes that the brain doesn't develop properly and it doesn't suppress that primitive reflex. So even an older child might still have that reflex. So you put something in their hand, and the whole hand is almost contracting all at once, and they don't have that ability to have that individuation of each of the fingers. So we can test that sometimes. If you put the child with the feet together, or even some adults still have this retained as well, and that's sometimes why their handwriting is bad. But if you put them like this and you have their elbows away from the body, and I usually just take, you can use like a small paintbrush, or I just use a pen that's kind of doesn't have the point on it, but you just would just stroke along the palm of the hand towards the center like this, or along here like that, and normally nothing should happen if you do that. But when somebody has that retained reflex, you might see something like this. So there might be some contractions, or they might draw their arms towards their body. So basically there's a lot of energy expenditure. Like normally I should just put my finger in my hands are on the pen and just be able to write as I write. But when those kids are doing that, just the fact that they're closing their hand around this, it's actually causing there's a lot of energy expenditure to kind of try to hold it and do it properly. I had one patient in my office. She was about 15 years old. Definitely had a little bit of ADD basically, and there's some attention problems at school for sure. But her handwriting, literally, her mom had her workbook, and she started flipping through the pages, and that was kind of interesting. So when she first came to me, her actual, like when she was trying to write, write on the lines, the handwriting was maybe about that big. It was really, really large. And then the mom would start flipping the pages, and as she'd been in care for only like a month and a half or something, the handwriting got smaller and smaller and more defined, and then it was right on the line. So it's just a very interesting thing that just doing the work that we do, getting the spine and the nervous system working properly, improving brain function, actually helped that reflex go away, and then the kid was able to write properly. If you want to try to get that reflex retrained or get it to pass by, one of the training things you can do is you can actually just try to keep stimulating it regularly on a regular basis until it actually stops happening, and then you just keep repeating that during the course of a day. So you might want to, you might do this maybe 4 or 5 or 6 times, and slowly the reflex might disappear, and then later on in the day you hit it again and it might be back again. So you would just keep doing that to try to keep stimulating the reflex so that the brain will finally kind of get over it and pass and let go of that reflex. You could also maybe have the kid play with Play-Doh, squishing a lot of Play-Doh, or you might take some marbles, 2 or 3 of the larger size marbles, and put them in the hand and try to get the kid to squeeze that pretty firmly. Or sometimes there's like a spring that's kind of shaped like a diamond shaped thing that you can squeeze like that. So anything that would do a lot of work with the hand in putting pressure into the palm of the hand and using the fingers and that kind of thing could help get past that reflex so that it can be integrated, as we say. So that's your health tip for this week. And I'll be talking about this stuff and many other things in the special workshop. We have a special workshop coming up. You can go to the website helpautism.eventbrite.ca, and that's where we're going to do this. I'm going to be presenting this workshop with another guest speaker. It's Saturday, July 25th, 2015. It's going to be at 10:30 in the morning, and it'll probably last about 2 hours or so. And it's $20 per person. Go to that website. You can register there, and It's at the Network Family Care Center at my office, and so I'd just like you to pass this information along if it's helpful, and please share this with anybody you can, because there's a lot of kids that need our help, and a lot of parents just don't know where to look for certain answers, and sometimes some of the neurological things we do can be quite a big help for them, and that they didn't know it even existed. So please share this information, and we'll see you next week's health tip. Thanks.